Keystone Cougar model 276RLSWE 2011 model. This will be my review of the Cougar Keystone trailer model number 276RLSWE. The RLS stands for Rear Living Suite and WE is West Coast Edition. And it contains what they call the Polar Package Plus. It says it's a half-ton series, dual pane windows, and its registration sticker. There's the entry door and steps. This would be your camping side with your awning. You can see you got a couple outside speakers there. Storage bay over there, water heater, fridge, furnace output port. And right there a propane door where there's a tank. Up there, bedroom window. Let's walk around front here. Show you the kingpin where you hitch up to, and you got a nice big front storage area there. The front of the unit also comes with this mirrored surface. They call it hitch vision, so you can just look in your rear view mirror and you'll be able to guide yourself into the hitch. And we'll go around the other side. You have another bedroom window, access to storage, another propane tank, and there's the main slide. And it has several windows, 4 windows, and a nice big large picture window that sits right where the dining table is. And we'll come around back here and you'll get a nice view of our large back picture window. And nice bike rack, ladder up to the roof. There you go, that's a walk around of the unit. That says we're camped out here in the desert down in Southern California. Really like the bike carrier option. You carry a couple bikes, and this slide out bike carrier is really handy for us. This slides out from underneath. It can hold up to 200 pounds, so it's no problem with holding the bikes. One thing I did do is there used to be a tire held on the back, and I thought that'd be a little too much weight flopping that far back, so I now carry my tire in the bed of my truck. But yeah, that's been a good feature. Came with the trailer. Here's a demo of the electric awning. That's a nice feature. Then if a sudden wind comes up, it's easy to haul your awning back in. Just like that. A couple of nitpicky things I've had with the storage bays. One of them is the material they use to seal it. It's kind of a foam, and I've had along the top a few leak problems, just because of the cheapness of the foam. Let's see. The other thing on the storage bay is the locking mechanisms. Right there. Sometimes they're a little sticky with the key. It can be hard to turn the key. They seem to stick out. I'm constantly having to lubricate them. One of the main reasons we picked this model of Cougar fifth wheel was the amount of storage. When we were looking at trailers, because we were going on extremely long trips, we wanted a lot of storage, and this one had a great basement storage area. They call it pass-through storage. So it goes from one end to the other, so you can access the stuff from either opening. You can see it's nicely carpeted. There's a few things you get in here. You get an AC plug, TV output if you want to watch TV in your campsite, and more lighting. Now if you want to see how much stuff I can get in there, I pulled all my stuff out and laid it out for you. So all that crap fits in there. It's quite a load of stuff to take with you, but we need it all. So yeah, all that equipment fits nicely in the pass-through storage area. One feature that's been really good has been the place where you hook up the water and your TV cable, and you actually have an outside shower too, and it's all enclosed inside the trailer rather than being on the external wall of the trailer. You just open a couple round caps here, and you can run your water hose and your TV cable up into here and connect them right there. City water connection. And so far this has been good, not a leak. Seals nicely every time. Quite happy with it. Then you got your outside shower, or I don't know if you'd have a shower, but it's handy to have an external water output. And there's where your cable goes for your TV. Also has electrical and a nice little light. So when you're hooking up in the dark, you can see everything. You're ready to travel. You do those up and it's all sealed. Once you run your hoses in there and your storage bay's locked, it's all sealed up in there. The other benefit is when it's really cold out, that area receives some heat through the inside storage bay, and then you don't get hose freeze-ups and freeze-ups to your plumbing as easily. So yeah, that's been a good feature. I'm up on the roof of the Cougar, and you can see it's a rubber roof. So far I've been really happy with how it's held up. Easy to maintain, easy to clean. A couple issues I've had though was the design of the back of the roof here. Anytime it would rain or the AC would deposit its water out, it would flow right to the back and would pool in this corner on each side. Eventually it would pool up and just run over and right down the trim of the trailer, which wasn't very good. Made a mess and eventually would leak through. So I solved it by installing this strip along here. I just laid down some plastic roping and covered it with the Dicor lap sealant, the same sealant they use to seal the roof. So that way the water hits it, flows down, and right into my gutters and off. You can see that's really helped stop any staining or anything like that. The sealant's held up well. I've added my own over time just to see if anything cracks. I just put in a bit more. The other problem I noticed what's going to happen was when the TV antenna came down, these two rivets here end up hitting the roof down here. So same thing, I just added some sealant on top of the roof there, just so it doesn't wear the rubber. I'd rather it wear, and you can see it wears it pretty good while you're traveling. Other than that, it's been pretty good. You can see the original sealant around these vents here in good shape. And the same goes for under the vents. I've taken them off and checked them all. Here's around the fridge vent. And the front cap seal. I've added a bit of extra to that too, just to make sure we get no leaks. And all the sealing on the edges has held up well, as can be expected. I haven't really had to patch anywhere there. So that's the roof. I thought I'd give you an idea what the AC looks like inside the trailer with the cover off. Here's where the warm air intake goes in, gets sucked in, and you can see up there there's a fan that blows it straight down. Then you have two options. You can either leave the vents open on the cover, or you can close them off, and that forces the air down these ductings. There's a duct at one side and ducted at the other. And then what they do is they lead down and come out these adjustable vents right here, which you can spin around and point the air where you want. There's two in the main living area, and then there's two up in the bedroom area, which is nice. I really like this one because you can sit there and blow cold air right on your sleeping environment. And here's with the cover back on. You can see these are the ports you can open or close. There's three of them. And then this thing here, it can drop out, and that's your filter. So you can clean that up every once in a while when it gets dusty. Put it right back in. Now we find when these are open you get max air, but it's quite loud. When you close those up, then you use the ducting, and the noise drops dramatically. Located right beside the stairs is the access panel, which I've removed for the back of the water heater. Let's give you a look there. And if you look straight down there, you'll see the valve, bypass valve. So if you're winterizing the trailer, you can switch that to bypass and drain the water heater. Over here you can see that shiny tube going down is coming from the furnace, which lives next door, and down into the underbelly. And a whole slew of electrical wires and plumbing, but pretty easy access. Here I'll show you the guts of the refrigerator. There's an access panel on the outside, and basically no corrosion. Nothing looks like it's gotten overly hot. Everything's been good in there. Every once in a while I'll just clean it out, make sure no spiders have gotten in there or any debris. It's been pretty easy to maintain. Down here we have the water heater. Same thing, not too much corrosion showing or any overheating or nothing getting too hot. Up here we have the safety release valve, pressure release valve, and it does its job. If the pressure builds too much, it'll drip a bit of water down. And right in here, the anode, I've had to change it once. And in here you can access the element. I've pulled it out and cleaned it once also. And down, I don't know if you can see here, but that's the on-off switch, which I guess it would be a little more convenient if it was inside the trailer, but so every time I want to turn the electric on or off I have to come and switch this switch, but that's really no big deal. Other than that, it's worked great. Problem I had with the propane gas system was one of these, they call them pigtails, that goes from your regulator down to your tank, has kind of a valve in there, and if it senses the wrong pressure it won't open. Well, mine just went flaky, and suddenly I couldn't get the furnace to fire or the hot water tank. I could get the stove to run, but sometimes it would go out. So once I diagnosed it was the pigtail, I went ahead and replaced both of the pigtails, and also replaced the automatic changeover valve, because the one I was on there, I thought it was not quite the greatest quality, so I went with a nice Marshall switchover valve and nice Marshall pigtails. Haven't had a problem since. The other feature I like is down here you got a nice outlet for your barbecue. And I have a hose that goes to my barbecue from that, so I can hook up to my propane system. But that was a nice feature of the trailer. Okay, here's a quick view underneath the trailer, the undercarriage of the beast. You can see the springs and the trail air equalizer, all in decent condition. Haven't found any wear or anything. Originally I did have to torque these bolts down. They weren't quite within spec when I received the trailer, so I torqued them down to what they should be, and I check them once in a while, make sure they haven't come loose. The axles have been good, straight. There's the other side. And up here you can see where the sewer comes out. That one's coming from the galley tank and going into the main sewer outlet. Over here we have the propane and the low point drains to drain the system. This corrugated plastic material has been pretty good. Haven't had too many problems with it. You can see I've cut a few access panels and then taped it up with Gorilla Tape so I can peek inside and check things. Another problem I ran into was with the jacks, the electric jacks that you level your trailer and pull it on and off your truck with. They would every once in a while pop one of the fuses. And the jack switch here, landing leg control, you can see it operates that motor, moves the jacks up and down. They have an inline fuse. Let's see if you can see it there. There we are. And that little fuse would pop every once in a while. I think it's a 15 amp fuse. And I'd keep having to replace it every once in a while. And it lived right in this inline here. You can see there. I've replaced it though with an auto reset fuse. And ever since I did that, I haven't had it even pop, so it must have a little longer delay or lag time on it than the original tiny fuses. So that's one way I resolved that problem. As far as the bathroom plumbing goes, we've been really happy with it. I use kind of a plastic sink, but it's been really good, easy to clean, doesn't develop stains. The hardware is plastic too, but no leaks, easy to use. As far as the shower, same thing, no leaks from the hardware. Been happy with the shower stream. And the shower stall, whatever material they make, doesn't seem to hold any slime. That's after a year and a half of steady use. We had one leak down in the drain, but I solved that by reputtying the seal. Been quite happy with the shower stall. This is one of the areas where I developed a small drip, a little bit of a leak every time I took a shower. That's the shower drain coming down here, and it would drip and just kind of drip down right here. End up with a little bit of water down here. So I took it apart. It's all just, something you can take out with your hand basically. And I found they used some plumber's putty in between the seal, and I guess maybe they didn't get enough in there. So I took it all apart, cleaned it out, and put some new putty in there, and that solved the problem. It's been fine ever since. Not real happy with the fan in the bathroom. It's kind of a cheap fan and very loud. It does move a fair amount of air though, and it does what it's supposed to do, but definitely on the upgrade list. Other than the noise factor, the pump's been really good. Provides plenty of pressure for our showers, and so far not a leak. You can see this hose here is from the fill hose outside into the freshwater tank. You also have another one coming up here is your vent hose, and then the main out of the tank and into your water system. And it hides in a nice little access panel in the corner of the trailer. This is the tank level indicator panel, and extremely displeased with how it works. It basically doesn't work. The only one that really works is the freshwater, but the black, gray, and galley, I guess they develop slime on the sensors and they just don't work. Like right now my black tank is basically empty and it's showing it's full. Gray water, same thing. They're totally unreliable. The holding tanks have been pretty good. The valves you open to release the gray and black water have been fine. No leaks or anything like that. I've had a little trouble with the black tank valve. It's been a little hard to open sometimes. Every once in a while I'll put down a little bit of olive oil and it'll lubricate the seal, but the other two gray tanks have been fine. One thing that's kind of a con is where they've placed the galley or the kitchen gray tank. So when you go to empty it, you're usually going to have your slide out if you're sitting in a campsite, and you actually have to crawl underneath your slide and then up in between the wheels. This is where your gray tank valve is. So Don't really like the placement of that one. Especially when I have to crawl under. You can see it's placed up between the wheels. Not the greatest place. The other two are placed in the storage bay and they're easy to access. An upgrade I did to the trailer was to replace the thermostat. There was kind of a slider switched analog one that came with the trailer, and I took it and trashed it and bought this nice digital one. That way we can set precisely what temperature we want it to be at, rather than trying to guess with the old analog slider type. So you've heard me complain about the loudness of the furnace fan. I'll just give you a demonstration here. First I'll turn up the setting and you'll hear it click on. Go there. So the furnace is underneath the refrigerator, and that's where most of the sound's coming out. Which, if you're watching TV right next door, means you have to crank up the volume every time that furnace comes on. If you're in the bedroom, you can close the door, and it's not too bad here. Here's the guts of the furnace unit exposed. It lives right under the refrigerator. You can see here's where the gas line comes in. Heats up these tubes, and then a fan at the back blows the air through, and the venting is directly underneath. Here and here. Over here, this little 2-inch unit is where the heat comes out for the tank heating and the basement heating underneath on the underbelly of the unit. The main duct is down here and comes straight out into the floor, and then front and back of the trailer, the duct goes up into the bedroom and comes out here on the floor. This is the heating duct to the bedroom. It comes out that wood box area into this collapsible tube, and then up into the bedroom heating register. Another issue we've had has to do with the bedroom heating. It's not really satisfactory. They have one vent here, and it basically blows a little bit of hot air, but not nearly the same volume as the other two vents do. So what happens is this end of the trailer gets quite cold, especially near your heads. And if it's a very cold night and very moist environment, we've even developed some condensation behind our heads, down on the trailer wall and down along the sides, which is not good. And also we'll wake up and we'll get condensation on the windows. Usually this happens when we're boondocking, but definitely it would be better if they put a little more insulation in the front cap behind the fiberglass. I've opened up the wall and basically there's nothing there other than the front fiberglass cap. So when we're not boondocking, we can supplement our heat with a little heater. On the shelf here we just plug in a little portable heater, keep it on low, and that keeps us warm enough. A great feature of the trailer, and we use it a lot, is the laundry chute. You open this little trap door, and down below you have access to the basement, and we just place our laundry basket down there. Also, it's a great place to store extra things. I store my potatoes down here. Sometimes we'll store beer or pop. So yeah, we're quite happy with that feature.